Right now, there are thousands of cats in shelters or on the streets of Ottawa. As winter approaches, activists are trying to find them loving homes. Sue Mans is one of those activists. She has dedicated her life to rescuing animals and has had up to 10 cats in her home at one time.
I've done what I can as an individual by rescuing cats, taking them in, finding homes. In Canada, I think there's over 7 million cats. There's just so many of them out there. It's hard to avoid them. You see them on the streets, and most of them don't have homes. Any neighborhood in Ottawa has stray cats, regardless if it's Barhaven, the Glebe, downtown. I found a garage, a vacant garage, with 41 cats in it one time, and some of the cats had been mutilated. It was horrible, and I found them all homes, fortunately. Recently I did a rescue with the help of many other volunteers, a colony of cats from the southern part of Ottawa, just off of Bank Street. One person contacted me and told me about, I think, 13 to 16 cats who were left abandoned at this house. The lady's name was Mrs. Betts. She had Alzheimer's and her family put her in a home. So these cats had nowhere else to go, and the son wanted to have the cats all destroyed. So I went out there and recruited a few more people. We rescued the cats, did a fundraiser, got all the funds to have them all vetted, and found them great homes.
Shelters across Canada take in almost 120,000 cats every year, but less than half of those find homes.
I don't feel that humane societies are doing enough to end the suffering and work on the real solutions, rather than just keep euthanizing the homeless.
After hearing Sue Mans' concerns, we decided to go to the Ottawa Humane Society to see what they had to say.
We see roughly more than 10,000 animals every year, and about maybe half or more than half are cats. We get, of the cats that come to us every year as strays, only 5% are returned to their homes ever, whereas 59% of dogs ever go back to their original owners. Every adoptable cat is here for as long as it takes to find a home.
The Canadian Federation of Humane Societies released a report on the fate of shelter animals late last year. The data shows for every one shelter cat that was adopted in 2012, one was euthanized.
One of the reasons there's a problem with cat overpopulation is people don't necessarily always think to spay or neuter their cat. They may not give it the proper medical attention that maybe their dog might get. They let their cat roam outside. It's not identified the same way, so people just don't think about cats the way there was a time where dogs, for example, would be allowed to roam too, but now it's socially unacceptable to let your dog out. There are laws against it, that sort of thing. It's sort of slowly moving in that direction for cats in Ottawa too now. We have homeless cats looking for homes. At the Humane Society, we want to be the go-to place. We want to be the place where people think of us first when it comes to adopting a cat. There are a lot of cats out there right now who could benefit from having a home.
Many rescue organizations have popped up in Ottawa to help combat cat overpopulation in recent years. Groups such as the Ottawa Stray Cat Rescue are run solely by volunteers and foster parents. We caught up with the group's volunteer coordinator, Sarah Collins, at the Ottawa Cat Show.
We're the biggest cat rescue in Ottawa. There are many cats roaming the streets. They live in colonies. When there are cats that are friendly, we'll catch them and we'll find them homes. We don't have a shelter. We have foster homes throughout the city. We'll put them in our foster homes, and then we'll find them homes if they're friendly. However, if they're not friendly and we're not able to tame them, then we'll spay or neuter them and take care of any medical conditions they might have. Then we release them back to their colonies. At least that way it stops them reproducing.
The Ottawa Cat Show promotes exotic breeds that you wouldn't necessarily find at a shelter. I asked Collins whether this plays a factor in cat overpopulation in Ottawa.
These cats at the cat show are very specialized cats. They're very expensive cats. So people who are adopting these cats are usually taking very good care of them. I mean, most of these cats run you over $2,000. So these are not the kind of cats we find on the street strays. The ones that we find as stray cats are the ones that are just the short-haired domestic breed and long-haired domestic breed. So the ones that are overpopulated. You can't buy those kind of cats here at the cat show. It's only the really exotic types. Stray cats have been around for hundreds of years, but it's a problem that we're trying to eradicate. So that's why we're taking this approach of spaying and neutering and releasing. It stops the cycle of reproducing and just lets the cats live out their lives and comfortably.
In the last 2 years, the Ottawa Stray Cat Rescue has spayed 173 female cats. They believe this has significantly slowed the rate of overpopulation in Ottawa. The group estimates they have prevented the birth of 63,000 stray kittens. Luna was a stray cat who has made it from the streets into a loving home. She is now in the care of University of Ottawa student Miranda Baran.
Adopting a cat is always a great idea. There are so many cats that need adoption. Why go out and buy a cat? You can help one out at a shelter. I guess the most unique thing about her is the fact she doesn't have a tail. They weren't sure about that at the shelter. They said she might have lost it as a kitten, or she might have just been born without it. Okay. People might not have wanted her because of her tail, but we thought it was a cool thing. It made her unique. I like her.
For people like Sue Mans, cats are more than just pets. She believes that if owners are more responsible with their animals, cat overpopulation would be a thing of the past.
It's just human beings are not responsible when it comes to animals. We have to look at animals as individuals and not just objects of affection. Or they're individual sentient beings, and they have their own personalities. We have to learn to really appreciate and learn about animals and respect them.
As the temperatures drop, the Ottawa Humane Society and activists like Sue Mans are rushing to get cats off the streets and into good homes. For the 25th hour, I'm Mandy Kovacs.